Okay. Super nice. Welcome to Automate This, the podcast where we decode the future of AI and marketing automation. I'm Alex Hammerschmidt, and today I'm joined by a fellow Mautic enthusiast, automation nerd, and friend Joey Keller. Welcome, Joey.
Hello, Alex.
Yeah, very nice that we finally made it. We tried to do it for some time now, and finally it works.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yes, you're very welcome. I just want to say a few words, at least of the stuff I know about you, so in order that our listeners get a little idea from the beginning. So you are the CTO of Friendly.so, which is a Swiss-based managed Mautic hosting.
Actually, .ch.
Oh my
we
God.
do have SO. Actually, we started it Friendly.is because Friendly.ch wasn't available, so we were like Friendly.is. But now we have Friendly.ch for a couple of years now. So
Nice.
yeah, but we actually like try to reserve everything which would make sense.
Yes,
including
absolutely.
SO. Yeah,
Totally. You can't have enough.
exactly.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, nice. So, and you are there from the beginning, right? You
I am
co-founded it, or you?
No, unfortunately not. It's an interesting story, but no, I am employee number one in terms of order of hiring. We have now a couple more coworkers here at Friendly. We just hired someone to help us with support. So yeah, but I was the first one 5 years ago, about now. Yeah,
Yes.
5 years ago we started.
Nice. So that's the one thing which takes you very deep into Mautic and into Matomo. I think you're working with Matomo.
We do Matomo as well, right?
Yes. So that's the one thing. And the other thing, of course, is your own Mautic stuff, which is available at joeykeller.com.
Right.
And where you help like helpless beginners and helpless enthusiasts and people who want to use Mautic and somehow need help, where you offer knowledge and tutorials and so on. And yeah, of course, so we met at the first in-person Mauticon.
I think so, yeah. Official one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're speaking at Mautic conferences, you're very active in the community, and I think if you take a look at the forum, you're one of the few people who are all over the place. So
That's
if
true.
there is somebody answering a question, then it's very likely you.
Yeah, it's true. I'm always wondering, is it okay if I do that? Because I'm maybe not giving anyone else opportunity to chime in. So I've been silent actually for a couple months because we are also very busy at Friendly, but I'm intending to come back. So don't try to get my place as the number one poster. But yeah, I am trying to be as active as possible because it's coming from the idea that Mautic is very much support intensive, and if you try to self-host and you see that, oh no, this isn't that community, you will just leave. Like you don't even give you don't even try. And there's so few.
Curse if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, you can. I can curse. Okay. But if you get help and people think that this is a friendly community, see what I did there, then they will more likely to come back.
Yes.
And any first-time lost person can be a very good contributor in the future. So we as a community there's just such a few of us who are active, a couple hundred people. We can't afford to lose anyone. So that was the idea behind it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're doing a great job there. Ruth is doing a fantastic job as well.
Thank you.
I very much appreciate this, and I wish that I would, I wish that I would have contributed more inside the forum, because I see it the same way, but I was too selfish working on my own.
Actually, no. I mean, there are very important few contributions can be game changers, and I remember when we had a talk a couple of years ago about the builder And you were the one who had the most advanced solution. So basically what we have today, it in a way is coming from you because you were the pioneer of that. And I strongly believe that the builder, which is something what people use every day, and it's essential part, email builder and landing page builder we're talking about, is the heart of Mautic. So I think that that was a very important one. And these are key contributions to Mautic. So a good plugin can be a game changer. I also think that, for example, the multi-domain plugin is one of those which draw a lot of people to Mautic, and there are a couple of more which are very interesting. So it's not the amount of contributions. I think the quality is the most important.
Yes, absolutely. That's the one. Yeah, let's talk about this in depth a little bit later. But yes, I totally think so. Let's start with your Mautic story, and how did you actually get aware of Mautic, and what happened that you started working with it or experimenting with it? How did this happen?
So the original story is back in 2014, I think. I used to work for an American company where we were sending out a lot of emails. And emailing in America and emailing in Europe is completely different thing. Like in Europe, having an instance, like an installation of 50,000, it's like it's a good size of Mautic, sending daily 50,000 emails. In the US, it's a different culture, it's a different way of acquiring lists, and it's a complete different scale. Like we were scaling up, we were using Sandy at that time, and we were scaling up to around 80 million emails a month, with multiple Sandys and multiple Amazon accounts, Amazon SES accounts. And it was very good experience to learn everything about deliverability. But I had enough of the sending a lot of emails. I wanted to send more quality emails. So we moved to another direction back at that company back in the day. And we wanted to send more targeted emails. And we gave a shot to MailWiz. It's a Romanian software. It's really good, really fast. Like if you want to send lots of emails, you want to use MailWiz. But it doesn't have any builder. It doesn't have any journey builder. At that time, it had a good solution for sending out emails through different different SMTP providers, so you could set up simultaneously, and it's still like that, Mailgun, SES, and so on. But who needs it? People need it. Who need to switch? Why you need to switch? You need to switch because you get banned. So it's pretty much, it was a little bit gray area. Yeah. And I wanted to move away from that and went into the more targeted traffic. And interestingly, what I noticed that the same company, I'm not working there anymore, but I'm in keeping in touch, and they use Mautic now with the same content, what they were sending, 80 million emails. They have twice as more turnover now with sending 150,000 emails. Because Mautic helps you to target better.
Yes, so, and to understand who is actually using something.
Exactly.
The thing is just amazing.
Yeah. And so I moved away, and I fall in love with the segment builder first, because for me it was like Excel out, change the subscribers, import, then look at the numbers. Come on, who does that? And this client of mine at that time, he was like, okay, Joey, let's try something else. And he gave me such a filter, which I couldn't build in any other tool than Mautic. So I found Mautic. I was like, okay, this is great. And then I'm like, this is not working. And why is it not working? And of course, I didn't set up the cron jobs. Because I get used to that when you make an installation, the last step is, okay, now you need to start, you need to breathe life into this software, set up the heartbeat. And that was the cron jobs. Now we didn't have any Mautic, like there's no screen where it says, now this is your next step. And but somehow I figured it out. I mean, the community was always very helpful. And I was blown away by the opportunity there and the possibilities, and and I will use this free. Yeah, so it's not free, but it is license free. Let's put it this way. So that's how I started. And then I started to complain to the forums that how come that this is a great software, but what kind of, I can really curse here, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of shit is this that you can't use Amazon SES API, just SMTP, and that's very slow. And Ruth was answering me, who don't know her, she is an amazing person. She at that time she was like head of community or something back in 2018 maybe or 19. And she said, well, this is an open source software. You're welcome to create this. And I was like, okay, this is new. Like I spent lots of time in the Sandy forums, in the Mailwiz forums. And that was something new for me. That was my second experience with open source. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I waited a little bit because at that time I wasn't really contributing that way. And the API was created and I was a very happy man. And that's how I started with Mautic. And since then, if I knew the answer to something, I just tried to share it. And if I noticed that the questions are pretty much the same. So I started a website where I was just putting the answers in detail, and short version just answered it in the forum. If you're interested more, go to my website and check it out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I really recommend everybody who is interested in Mautic and has problems and wants to understand cron jobs and so on to check out Joey's website. It's really
Thank
good.
you.
I use it from time to time.
Weight management, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Weight management is like the best thing you can ever have. It's really good. I mean, I wrote a script for this.
Yeah.
But it's really so like to understand the underlying challenges. That's really amazing. And I mean, I think this is also one of the difficulties for people who get into Mautic. So it's on the one side, I agree absolutely with what you said at the beginning, that a lively community where you get feedback, like not in 4 months, but maybe at the same day, is something what really takes you into the community and really gets you engaged. And I think N8N are doing an mind-blowing job there.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
like, oh my God, you can post something and like an hour later you have an answer from somebody within N8N.
Yeah.
Or even from somebody who is just in the community, because it's very lively. And I mean, I think it's top 30 on all GitHub software projects already, which is like, how can you ever get there? That's unbelievable. I mean, GitHub has like millions or billions of repos. So that's like unheard of. So I totally agree with the community thing. And the other thing is, I think there is a very big misconception what Mautic actually is and does. And it's not like your typical newsletter MailChimp thingy, but it's so much more. So I like to compare it to clients. So we only have like, not enterprise, but larger SMBs. And I like to compare it with clients. So it's basically the marketing automation arm of HubSpot or Salesforce. And yeah, if you have some kind of, if you actually need some kind of real CRM because you have a real sales team, then you would have your CRM anyways, and connected to Mautic, you have your perfect marketing system, actually. So yeah, it's so much more than just sending emails, right? And I think a lot of people start Mautic with the idea of, oh yeah, it's a free email sending system.
Right.
So I can send my newsletter for free and it's going to be super nice. And yeah, then they see, oh yeah, okay, it's open source. I need to self-host it. I need to maintain it. I need to understand what's the underlying thing about sending emails. Because like sending emails is the easiest, but on the same way, the hardest thing you can ever do, because it's like super old in a very new web. in a very
Exactly.
modern web. So we're like bringing this together. Mautic does actually a very good job, and you can have so much from the two worlds of like sending this super old protocol of email in a very modern way, which you can basically connect to everything. So
That's true.
yeah, I think it's together with N8N. So when N8N started, together with N8N, you have the perfect middleware to do basically everything what you want in your business. So
That's true. You can do anything. It's
communication-wise.
a perfect extension.
Yes.
Mautic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Nice. So, and what made you stay with Mautic? When you had this experience of, oh yeah, you can build this on your own. You're very welcome. It's
Yeah.
like for most people, that's like, oh, okay, I will find something else.
Yeah. So, COVID hit. There's just so many business stories starts like that, you know. COVID
Yeah,
hit.
totally. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want to stop this so-called large scale called outreach, what I was doing before, and I want to move into this amazing software which I really like, and I want to build a SaaS on it. So I started to play around with different solutions, including there was a multi-tenant version at that time which didn't really work out, and different options. I even had the name. I was gonna brand it as Mautic Chili, which is a spiced up version. I had the logo and everything.
Yeah, nice.
And it would be a Mautic with plugins pre-installed and templates, and how cool is that? And maybe tutorials and blah blah. And I just couldn't make it stable. I couldn't. It was not. That was Mautic 2.15, which had lots of problems still. A lot of problems. And I used to, at that time, I used to work on Upwork. And somebody hit me up from Switzerland. And the guy is like, hey, I'm looking for, making this into a SaaS product. And I was like, oh man. So I used to live in Switzerland when I was 20. I did my professional training there as in the tourism industry. And I really love that country. I mean, it's a magical place for me. Probably because I was young and that was like the first time I lived abroad a longer time. Mm-hmm. And I had only good memories from the Swiss countryside, actually. Interestingly, the area of Lake Brienz.
Yeah, nice. Like your template.
Exactly, the template comes from there. And I was like, okay, I will tell this Swiss guy, I'm gonna save him some time. Don't do it. It's not possible. Mm-hmm. And that's the owner of Friendly, Stefan Vetter. Mm-hmm. And then he called me, yeah, can we talk anyway? So he's very pushy. He's like, I have something in my mind. I will not let it go. He's that type of person. And then we started talking and we clicked right away. So we really had the same way of thinking. And I said, okay, I think it cannot be done. But if you're fool enough to pay me, I will build it for you to the best of my knowledge. And we started to build it. And it actually... we are a very good match. So I am more like crazy technical. He is amazingly organized. Like I haven't met such an organized person in my life. And he loves documentation. I hate documentation. Now, actually, I also love documentation. So we started to build this business, and he had an amazing network. And then pretty soon we had growing number of clients. And we also have Matomo as a service. Friendly Automate is a cookie-less tracking hosted in Switzerland, and that's the whole business about. We host in Switzerland. Yes. Only Swiss-owned company, so it's not in a Google Zurich center, but it's actually hosted in the hills of Geneva mountains. Like it's really Swiss. And since then it's working out. But it needed that moment of his expertise, my expertise, meeting at the right time, and that's how we managed to create this service. And I'm not a owner, I'm an employee, but I love it like it would be my own. I kind of feel like my dream coming true through Friendly itself.
Yeah, nice.
So there's a story.
That's so interesting. I came with the same idea into the Mautic realm, like sending with ActiveCampaign became too expensive. I was looking around, and somebody told me about, I'm using Mautic for my newsletter, and it's free. You only pay like Amazon SaaS. And back then I think it was only SMTP. Yeah, I think I came in Mautic 2.12 or something.
Yeah.
And so it was Mautic 2 already, like at the beginning of 2018.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just saw it and thought, oh my God, somebody needs to make an installer and a SaaS, because like people can't get wrapped their head around exactly this. I mean, I saw it like the biggest problem of Mautic is actually what WordPress was solving with websites. You have like this 5-minute installation, and you need this for Mautic too. And then that's how I came into the thing. And then we built Heartnode.io, and everything just went from there.
Do you still have that logo, the Heartnode logo? Is it still, you still building
it's
that?
still
Yeah, I love that logo. That's I think one of the best Mautic logos, like Mautic related business logos. I really like it.
Yeah, it's a funny. I mean, the idea back then was like we wanted to create. So my wife and I, we co-founded this, right? And we wanted to do only things because we were architects before, and we were super depressed and had burnout and whatever. We only wanted to do something where we would love if we see the logo and like have a smile on our face. And there was the whole thing with the name Heartnode, because I was like so many people, especially at the beginning, and with YouTube, so many people texted me like, "Hey Heartnode, I have this problem." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "No, that's the chameleon. That's not me." But yeah, anyways, yeah, nice, very good. I think still there is like I'm very curious where this goes, like architecture-wise and performance-wise, because I still think this is the biggest reason why Mautic is not blowing up, because actually the tool is something what the world just wants, not necessarily needs, because SaaS is solving exactly this problem, but it's very expensive. If you use HubSpot, for example, for exactly this suite of tools, it's just, oh my God, it costs so much. Or if you use Klaviyo, I have clients, they just switched to Klaviyo. So they got a new marketing director. I worked with them for 4 years, and they were one of the first ones who had Mautic, and they have quite a big list, about 150,000 engaged users, which is quite a lot. So like 200,000 contacts, and they are really close to their readers. And I think Mautic is actually the perfect fit, especially so at this size of list with actual openers. You need to afford somebody who is full-time working on the project, on the marketing automation system, but on the same hand, you don't want to blow away your money just on the tool itself, right? Because you need somebody anyways to take care of it. It doesn't matter if you have a SaaS, then you need somebody who takes care of the SaaS you're paying. And I'm really curious how it's going to work out for them, because it's going to be so expensive, like crazily expensive at this stage.
Do you know why they switched to Klaviyo?
I think it's just because the new marketing director needs to prove a point.
Is it because this person had experience with Klaviyo and knows how things go in with
so.
Klaviyo? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But I think so. And I experienced this a lot with lots of clients, like bigger clients who have a marketing team, that if they bring somebody new, they are steering around in the existing stack and like, now we change the tool and this is going to solve our problem. And actually it doesn't. Because the tool
so how
is
often
usually not the problem.
The tool cannot solve your problems most of the time.
Exactly. So I'm but it's like the thing, like the don't blame the messenger thing, I think Mautic opens up for exactly this because it's complicated and people use it in a way where they actually don't know that they cannot automate their process because they don't know their process. And this gets into this blaming loop where people start blaming the tool. This can't, I don't know, it can't, out of the box, it can't connect to my WooCommerce store, and now I don't know who actually is buying something, but actually that's not the real problem. So if your emails would work, people would buy, no matter if you can track it or not, it doesn't really matter.
We see this. We see this also with this WooCommerce is a very good example because we get this a lot in demo calls. Like, okay, so if I go with your solution, will I be able to target people who purchased a specific product at a specific time? Mm-hmm. So now suddenly we are talking about 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional data even. And then I often ask back, so do you actually have a business where you said you have 4,000 products? Do you actually want to make a campaign for this? That you target, like you are not able to manage this. So they usually ask you to be able to do everything because they don't know what they want to do at the end. So they don't want to find themselves in a situation like, I wanted to do that and I thought you can do it, but turns out you can't. So now I have to do something else. So we do this also very often, that I talk to the client and say, okay, so let's say you are with us now, and what do you want to do next week? What do you want to do in half year? And what do you want to do in 2 years? They usually can't even answer the half year thing.
Yes.
But if you go into a workshop and say, okay, let's imagine we are in the future. What campaign you would run? Okay, so for that, what data you need? Okay, for that data we need to collect today, what you need in half year from now. So let's connect those two things and let's start collecting the right data. So when you say that Mautic has some challenges, I think the marketing teams often have challenges.
Yes, they do. Totally.
It's somehow our job to help with that also a little bit. And this is making the whole thing really hardly scalable. Yes. Really hardly scalable. Yes. So it's a challenge. I don't know how you deal with it. I know that you had, like, I watched your previous videos where you were, I don't know if you still do that in this format, when you show your hands, and there's this drawing paper. I really like that. Oh, yes. It reminds me to my childhood when, you were watching the TV and then you were learning some kind of physics thing on in the afternoon after you went home from school, and then they were showing you stuff. So for me, it's like switching on the learning environment. Yes. And I really love that. And then you were showing like, okay, this is what you do. And do you provide such workshops to your clients?
So so I live off my agency, right? So and in the agency we are hands-on working marketing automation and business automations. So yes, we do exactly that because as you said before, the biggest problem is not the tool. So that's only one thing. We sell our own SaaS through our agency work to our clients, because with Mautic we can just build this. It's very difficult to build complex systems and interconnected systems with like a lot of tools out there. It depends on the stack. Now with n8n everything gets easier, but still it's very useful to have a tool like Mautic, because we can just custom build every connection through the API. And but yes, the biggest challenge clients usually have is they don't have an understanding of marketing automation, what marketing automation actually means. And as soon as you build a campaign for anything, you need to understand what you're actually doing and what the manual process would be, right? And this is what we walk people through. So we create these blueprints, these marketing blueprints in the beginning, which is basically a map or a plan, what we're going to build in which priority. So, I mean, strategy is basically prioritizing. This is the most important thing we need to do first, and we do the second, and we do the third. And we don't talk about the having 4,000 different types of jewelry, and if somebody buys this pearl, they are interested in that, because it's like, oh my God, if we ever get there, 10 years go by and we make so many millions in between because our basic marketing is working. So maybe, I think less is more. And I think so what I usually say to most people is, in the beginning, before you start automating, start sending a newsletter, on a regular basis. Just sit down once a week or automate it. I mean, we created this newsletter agent. So my YouTube newsletter is 100% automated. I don't even look at it. Mautic is just sending it out.
Cool.
But yeah, it's really cool. And maybe annoying. I don't know. I don't read it. I don't know.
Well, maybe you need a bot which reads it for you.
Yeah,
gives you feedback,
exactly.
you know.
Once in the morning, like Alexa is reading it to me when I wake up.
Yeah.
But if you don't send a newsletter, and if your newsletter doesn't get read, so I have 55% open rate on average on
That's
my
cool.
newsletter, which the agent is writing, which is like, oh my God, I could never write this good on my own because I don't take the time. But if you do this correctly, and if you understand, my newsletter is driving traffic to this page, and then people click on the offering, and I need to create some more touch points for this offering, because obviously it's somehow interesting to somebody, so I can create more touch points, and then people will buy. Then I have a base understanding what I can automate, and this is how we get people from the idea of, I don't want to spend time with marketing anymore. I want to have everything marketing automated,
Right.
because that's the idea.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then you need somebody who takes care of the automation, because automations usually don't work fully automated. They need maintenance and updates and so on. APIs change, so suddenly something doesn't work anymore, or cron didn't work, or the server got stopped somehow because, I don't know, DDoS or whatever. So, you need to maintain the thing. Or the database blows up suddenly.
Yes.
And you have 75 gigabyte of database, and I can't even make a backup anymore because, it's just not working.
Right.
So, that's how I think that's super important to get people through the process. And yes, the marketing is usually the problem. I think the biggest problem with what marketing automation has as a term is it suggests that something is taken off my chest if I use that, and that's not true, because it's actually, I mean, if you have a factory where some robots do something, you still need to maintain the factory and the robots and the automation.
Right.
If you just go somewhere else and play golf, it's probably breaking down somehow.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I think that what you mentioned in the beginning, that you make people send an email, create an email. And that's a very good point. It's like learning them to do this very simple step.
Yes.
Teaching them to do this very simple step, like that they grow these muscles of creating, putting the email together, not forgetting to unsubscribe, or not forgetting the links or the email, so that they can create a decent newsletter. And then when it's done, they can scale it up. Maybe it should be called not marketing automation, but marketing scaling. I don't know. So because if you build shit, you will scale shit, and
Exactly.
that's why it's very important
more
to
shit.
to do the right thing. And it's also the drama of marketing automation that we cannot talk about the cool stuff what we do, most of it, because we don't want to show. It's full of private data. Like I have all the time problems that I'm trying to make a video and YouTube takes it off, saying that I'm showing private data because there's an email address in the background.
Yes.
So I'm using all kind of tricks for that already, but recently it's been very bad.
Yes.
And we cannot show how cool stuff we do, and I wish there would be a way to showcase it. And I think what Mautic needs is some kind of content, and by Mautic I mean the Mautic community, to make this
Yes.
product more popular. Some kind of content which is like these renovation shows on TV, you know, that there is a step, like this is where you are before renovation, and look what I did, and these are the steps. I think
Yes.
those are very, very cool. Any DIY thing is very cool, and we could do that with Mautic and apply business cases and show these business cases. That would be nice. Unfortunately, they're full with private information, business secrets, so, and it's very time consuming. So making a video where, you know, for example, I have one where I'm showing double opt-in. That video is like 20 minutes, but you had to make it for like 5 hours
Yes.
to make sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
That everybody gets it. and
yeah,
so on.
very
Yeah.
time consuming.
Yes, totally. And there are so many different ways on doing it.
Right. There is
are
many
lots
ways. Yeah.
of ways on doing it, and as soon as I mean, there is no perfect way. The only thing it really needs to do, it needs to work, right? Especially, I mean, double opt-in. Come on, that's a really crazy topic. It depends totally on the browser if it works or if it doesn't. And even like you have these. I use Gmail, so I get tracked with everything basically. But there are these email providers which cut off all the tracking systems from emails. So it really gets difficult if a system is rendering the destination link for your email and then takes out the Mautic tracking click link and supplies the destination link. Is like, what the actually did this just happen? So yeah, it's we're flying blindsided.
I would say that's one of the biggest challenges now as a marketer, these non-human interactions, including unsubscribe, clicks in general,
Yes.
double opt-in and everything. And do you have ways to manage that? Do you have a need? Like, do you see it from clients, the pressure that, hey, my customer journey is not working for, I don't know, 5% of my clients. Do you see something like this?
No, I usually steer around. I usually tell people, okay, if it doesn't work for 5% of your clients, it's not. I mean, what are we talking about? If like statistics need to work for 50% of your clients or something, right? It's like, I mean, come on, how far can you optimize? If you're looking
Right.
at the top 5%, you're looking at the wrong thing usually. I mean, we're not like, I don't know, we're not like Zen sushi masters or something.
Yeah, we're not surgically trying to target clients,
exactly,
but
exactly.
it's a mass communication, basically.
It is, exactly. So we need to shoot in the right directions and therefore do more. But no, I don't. I mean, we had super annoying clients, and we just either they went, or we just stopped like working with them. We usually work on project basis, or on like yearly basis, and if it doesn't work out, it's usually like, okay, let's split up and everybody goes their way, because it can't be too annoying. So for me, my experience is if people are looking at these details, they are not experienced, and the business doesn't work. That's usually the thing, what I've seen.
Right.
If nobody's, or I didn't have anybody who is actually in the need of optimizing the upper 40%. Usually people need to start sending emails on a regular basis and just do the basics, like get their reviews, get the welcome lines and or welcome campaigns and so on. Get this right, and then you have a lot of sales already, and business gets better. And stick to it and understand why does somebody not open your first email? Probably it's super uninteresting. Very likely there is no use to open the email. So we need to work on this and yeah, do like the basics. So usually I think so what I found in working with clients directly and doing their marketing is we need to do it because they don't have time. So that's the reason why I have this agency, right? Because then I can just say, okay, we are taking care of this, that your Mautic works and actually brings your numbers which you can leverage and work with.
So I know that you are interviewing me, but I have two questions here right away,
Yeah,
which
sure.
I think it's very interesting. The one question is, do you think Mautic is viable without an agency? And the second one is, do you think Mautic is viable in e-commerce sphere?
Both, yes, totally. E-commerce, I mean, we only do e-commerce. So we only work e-commerce. And I love Mautic for it because you can build the craziest integrations you can ever have. You can send, I mean, the tracking pixel, like the tracking script is the mightiest tool you can ever have. It's like a tag manager built into your own marketing system. It's first cookie. It's like, I mean, it's first party cookie. Usually if you have, if you run it on your own domain, and it's just unbelievably nice. So all the data is yours and you can basically do whatever you want. It's just an extension of your online store. And you can do the craziest things like firing tags and firing timestamps and so on, and enrich the history of clients directly inside your own system. You don't even need to switch to some other thingies. You don't need another middleware layer, even though you could do it with NNN or whatever, but then it would get very complex. And like the tracking script in Mautic, if you use it correctly, you can directly send everything into the identified contact, which is unheard of. As I don't know any tool which is capable of doing this, and this is basically free. I mean, and it's very performant. Even though it's PHP, it's super performant. It's like, oh my god, tags are the craziest thing you can leverage.
Right.
Custom fields is something different, but tags is like putting a string on everything, and it's so nice because it's so lightweight and it goes so fast, and it doesn't overwhelm the MySQL database and so on. So that's really cool. And the open source structure and the API is just made for e-commerce. So,
do you use the custom objects plugin somewhat, which Mautic is no. And how do you deal with two-dimensional or multi-dimensional data?
Yes. Because
tag is okay, great, but
yes. Usually I try to get this off all ideas of our clients. So two-dimensional or three-dimensional is very good inside the store itself. I think it's all these ideas which you have in each email marketing tool you have nowadays, since AI blew up. You have the yes, and then you connect your vector store to our blah blah, and we find the perfect product which we then put into the email, which comes 2 minutes after the person closed the window, and then the person is going to buy because we have proof that 65% are buying afterwards. That's bullshit.
Oh, you sold it to me.
Huh?
You sold it to me.
Yeah, it's just not true. It's just like telling somebody stories, like fictional stories. So I don't know anybody who can actually prove that it's working like that. I think, so I love vector stores. I think it's the best thing you can ever use for working with data, and especially like bigger product sets. So if you save everything in vector stores and then leverage AI to find great products, which should be how do you say? Which should be like upsells or something for somebody. That's amazing. Most stores can't do this because they are not headless, so they cannot use a vector store. It's not possible because they are server-side rendered, whatever thing is, and not headless systems. So you need to build a headless store system in order to leverage this, anyways. And the other side, and the other thing is like leveraging timestamps and, for example, secondary product data, like cross sales or something, is actually a very linear process. And you can do it easily with Mautic. But you need this basic setup on, okay, what are actually the cross-sell products? You need a great catalog, which you can feed into your marketing system. And what I found is, I don't know, only 2%. I don't know how many percent. I would just say out of the blue, I would just say only 2% of all stores know their cross-sell products for each product. Most e-commerce stores don't have any true system behind this. So they set up a product and then they just say, okay, what would be a cross-sell for this? Because WooCommerce tells you you should put in some, or Shopify tells you you should have recommendation products you recommend to other buyers. So like, and people don't think about this usually. They just think about the product description, which is also bad copy usually, and so on. So I think it's what I found, and I do this since 2018, 2019. We founded the marketing agency because we understood, okay, people don't need the tool, people need the service. Since then, I find that people want to be very sophisticated and actually only need the basics. So before thinking about which product should we provide to a client at the right time in the right device, so like splitting to cell phone, we send this email, and to desktop, we send this email. I mean, come on, what the hell? Just send an email. It doesn't really matter. It's not that complicated, and people want to do this, and the idea of being extremely sophisticated and on the right time and so on sounds very compelling, but it's at the very, very, very top of the pyramid. And nobody is there, actually. Nobody is there. I don't know any marketing team where more than, let's say, 2 people are really good at marketing.
I hope not marketers are watching this
yes,
podcast right now.
But that's the truth, Most marketers are just like, they watch some YouTube videos and then they go out and like, yeah, I'm going to be email marketer because then I can work remotely in Bali and work only 2 hours and say I work 12 and like charge 12 hours and then I have a good life. So, okay, yeah, whatever. But it's actually screwing over the whole thing, and marketing is like really hard work and lots of hours to put in. And so analytics is like super annoying.
Yeah, that's true. So I was just going to ask, like, how do you measure the success?
Yes.
Obviously, you measure it in sales, so the company has a feedback to you.
Yes,
that,
exactly.
We made twice as much money. I don't know what you did, but do it again. Yeah. Twice as much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. That's the other thing, like metrics. I hear in the Mautic realm very often that is super difficult. Mautic has no good reporting and blah, blah.
Which is true, actually.
Which is totally true.
About the reporting,
It's really bad. But what's really good in Mautic is actually it has a database. And everything is written back into the database. Everything. Like everything is in MySQL. So you can fetch your database. And what I do with every client, the first thing I do is I build a Google Sheet and I fetch the database every night at 2 o'clock in the morning and get the numbers. I just get the simple numbers which make sense. I don't get vanity metrics like, oh yeah, yesterday we had like 20 people more opening our email, because who the fuck cares? Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. It's like these comparisons don't matter. In the end, it only matters, okay, this email sold, or this email led to so many clicks, and then we sold something to this client or to this contact.
You feed back the sales usually to the Mautic? You feed back the sales to Mautic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's one of the most important metrics in order to understand, was email or WhatsApp, which we sent over Mautic, a touch point which was involved inside the 7-day click purchase journey. So you have this, like, that's a typical
metric. Yeah, right.
7-day click attribution. So I think that's one of the most important metrics in e-commerce, to understand, was the email a part of the touch points which led to the sale? Because you never can say, okay, because of this email somebody bought. I don't know. Maybe the person never reads an email. He just has IMAP. And is opening every email to have the email inside his or her Mac. Mail. And actually, he never read anything because he uses IMAP. But people don't know what IMAP is, so yeah. But then Mautic would just say, yeah, the people open the email immediately. He's opening the email every time immediately when we're sending it. So no, that's the IMAP, and that's the IMAP openers.
That's actually a very dangerous thing also with this opening, because opening immediately, I know someone is using Mautic very heavily for affiliate business, and they have the openers list and huge churn. Like, they have very big turnover. Lots of new people are coming. Some stick around and purchase, and some open. So after 3 years, he built the perfect zombie list. Yes. Because now on his list, he only has contacts, or 90%, who have been opening something in the past 3 years, but they're actually not real people. So, and this is where Mautic comes in, and we say, okay, how it happened is that he reached out to me and he said, Joy, I have 90% open rate. What the hell is happening? My sales are declining. And we looked at the data, and Mautic is doing page tracking as well. So in the times when the non-human interactions are completely trashing your statistics, using Mautic, you can still see, okay, so what's the journey? And then we realized those people never came to the website. Actually, like there were no sessions.
Yes.
So always combine those metrics together. Very useful.
Absolutely. And that's the reason and back to answer your questions, yes, I think Mautic is perfect for e-commerce. I really love it because you get so much data if you know how to fetch it, basically. Because yes, reporting is bad, but most reporting is unnecessary, unnecessary graphs and blah blah. I love Google Sheets. It just gives me numbers, and I define which numbers I want to read, and that's it. And then I have my 5 KPIs, and that's it. I don't want to know, I don't know, which time is the best time. I don't care. Let's take the last 24 hours. It's like, I mean, you can optimize on that, of course, but it's not the first step, and it's not really necessary if you do the basics. And the other thing, what you wanted to know is, I think you need, if you ask me if I think that you can use Mautic without an agency, yes, if you have a nerdy IT marketing super everything interested person in your team, then you can do it without somebody.
I meant is not hosting. Like, let's say you are buying a SaaS product with Mautic. Can a client, like, can a company just use Mautic without any hand holding?
Yes.
Of course, you get the technical things sorted out.
Yes.
But so you think we are there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally. So we have these different tiers. We sell Mautic Pure, which is 19 euros a month, and then you only get Mautic, and we do the cron jobs and everything for you. If you have a problem, you just send us an email if something's not working, and we're doing it for you. But then you need to have your own email sending system. So you can send endless emails, but there is no email system connected. Only the plugins, so you can use like AWS. Yes, but yes, you can actually, and we have lots of clients where we built the first part of the user journey, and then we just gave it to them, and now they simply use what we built and do their reports and do their newsletters, and they just use it as is. You can do this, yes. As soon as you want to get sophisticated, hands-on, you should self-host. Because then you have the true power in your hands, right? Then you can start comparing like sending speed and stuff like this. But usually sending speed, for example, is overrated because it's very important that it gets out. But people, the
fast sending speed is overrated. Yes. Sending speed, like it's choosing the right sending speed, I think it's underrated. Actually,
yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Not overwhelming APIs
right.
And so on. Yeah, totally, and not like sending your emails into the ether. Yeah, but I think so. I often get not often. Sometimes I get like people who do webinars or something, and then they're like, "Yes, but I have a webinar, and I want to send 5 minutes before the webinar. I want to send like an attend email to my whole list." Then like, okay, how many emails we're talking about? Like 250. So, okay, it will take like 7 seconds, and everything is fine. And like no, it will take 3 seconds, for example, if you have like this basic AWS, and if you do it correctly, right? So, but if you have like million or 100,000 people you want to send to 5 minutes before something starts, then it gets really tricky. Then it gets, I mean, this is difficult, or at least for me or for us. But usually people don't have these problems. If you're late on emails, if it's important that your email gets out today immediately, then you planned wrong. Mm-hmm. Because why? And sometimes I get emails from people we updated the Mautic or something, and then they have a problem and something doesn't work on the day they launch something. It's usually because they didn't use the Mautic for 6 months, and now they want to do it. And today is the day of sending the one important email, and then they shout at me like, "Yeah, we have this problem. You did this, it doesn't work." So yeah, you obviously never used it. You could have just used it after our tests when it worked, and now I don't know what you did. I don't know, you changed your MariaDB, and now the migrations weren't running, and now it doesn't work. So yeah, it's usually it's just planned wrong, and there were no tests and so on involved. Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your experience with this?
I had a very interesting email a couple of days ago when I relaunched my website. Someone was writing me, "Hey, Joey, you write about scalability," and I switched to Mautic. And we used to have a previous provider was sending out 700,000 emails within minutes, and we can't get this speed by Mautic.
Yeah.
And I was like reading it again, 700,000 within minutes. So that's if you send that out, you DDoSing yourself. Yes. Like you actually killing your own servers most likely. Yeah. Probably what happens, he pushed the button and it said, sent.
Yeah.
It's done. But then,
Exactly.
of course, in the pipeline, maybe something is sending still tomorrow. So there was in the Mautic conference last year in 2024 in Lisbon, we had this presentation about this sending speed. Mautic 5 is amazing. Like, actually have to hold back yourself because the email is just flying out if you use some default setting, which is good, but you need the servers to be ready to accept that traffic.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're not a market like an email marketer, you don't know these challenges that you need the technical setup. Like we often tell clients that, okay, this is your technical setup. We have to check your settings, domain settings. Then let's look at your list. And you would be amazed. I'm sure actually you wouldn't be amazed, but dear viewers, you would be amazed what kind of attitude we see. And it's not in a bad way, but people don't know that, just let's not take all of your list from MailChimp, including your bounces, your never openers, your everything. Like, let's look at your list in a very detailed way,
Yes.
based on activity. And with the sending speed also, you don't want to send too fast because then you will be ignored, you will be punished, and at the end, you will actually harm yourself.
Yes.
I think it's the fastest way to harm your business for a very long time is if you are sending it to an old list too fast with a crappy, not set up domain.
It's like blacklisting yourself.
Right away. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and people don't know
Not even
because
my invoices get there.
yeah, that's the other thing. Right. Now suddenly they're not getting my invoices. Yeah.
Totally.
No, it's kind of comforting for me that you have the same problems.
Yes.
Totally. I think we all do.
Yes, totally. I think let's talk list pruning. Yeah, what do you think about it? How do you do it? And what do you think would our listeners or users need to know about keeping a clean list, actually?
So I could say this, never buy a list and never rent a list and all these kind of things. If you are American, please buy a list, but then do the mandatory things. Like, don't buy a big list and add it to your small list, but do it the other way around. Let's add in chunks, small pieces, so it gets diluted. So always, when you first time upload a bigger list, always check the quality with a smaller slice. And Mautic, unfortunately, cannot do random numbers. It cannot do, it's very hard to take just a chunk. We usually do it with, okay, let's see the first letter of the email and set up a regex.
Yes.
To get a chunk of
create segments.
Yeah, like 2000,
Yes.
and let's see what happens. Or take a slice, 1,000 emails from 100,000 list, for example, and upload it to email oversight or zero bounce or whatever. Let's see what you get, because that's going to be, you can project it to your whole list. So if you see that you have like 5% bounce, don't do it.
Yes.
The fastest way to have yourself blocked by Amazon SES.
Yeah,
So,
totally. And you never get back if you upload.
It's really hard. Yeah, I had some very bad experience recently with some friends, and we managed to get back the account.
Oh, nice.
I will actually have a blog post about this, what you should write to Amazon and what works the fastest way. There are some tricks about it. Don't work always, but you can try that if you first time banned.
Yes.
So with the list pruning, we do tell our clients to monitor the open rates, monitor the bounces as well. And if someone is not opening for a very long time, put them on a separate list and try an aggressive email like, hey, we're going to remove you from the list. If it's such a company where you can have this kind of personal talk, those have the best open rates ever. And then they're back to the active. But it makes sense to send, not always to the big list, just send to chunks, openers, 3 times, 1 time to a whole list, something like that. you will be surprised. Your average will go up. Average open rate will go up. The other thing what we recommend is do as many automations as you can. Because if you do automations, they will send very different content emails. And if a provider like Gmail sees that you are sending all kind of content, not just one the same thing,
Yes.
then they will manage you differently.
Yes.
There is one more, yeah. There is one more thing which we started recently. You have this opportunity with SES that you also get SNS notification about deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also very cool because you actually know if something gets delivered,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and when and how fast. So you can monitor your sending speed. You can adjust your sending speed to that, how SES is sending out your stuff. And sometimes it makes sense. So you're not like sending stuff a lot later, which means you are sending not valuable information anymore. We have clients who do sunsetting, so they are deducting points. You start with 100 points. If you never open anything, eventually they will remove you from the list.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I never.
you just minus it.
Like, yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's one thing what you should watch. Don't set like. Make sure that the person who gets 100 points has an email address. Otherwise, you will have lots of anonymous contacts with 100 points, and that's totally messing up the database because they are actually identified in that moment. But yeah, try that. It is pretty cool. The other thing, what we did now, we have lots of problems with non-human interactions. Not we, but our clients. They are using we have a client who is it's a financial company. They have only business addresses. The business addresses either we have no opening data because they block everything, or we have 100% open rate from that company if we send multiple. So probably everything fake. So how can we know what is a real click? So with that, what we do is that as a test, every single click, every link in the email is worth 1 point. Mm-hmm. So if somebody opens everything, they will get, let's say, 7 points. Okay. Yes. But that means if someone has 7 points after an email, we know that every single link got clicked, so we actually take it as a non-open.
Yes.
So these kind of tricks you can do to fight this.
Amazing. That's very interesting. I never thought about this. I honestly, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe the problem didn't come up. It's a big problem with banks. They're sending 200 emails. And they actually look, for example, financial analyst company sends out 200 emails. It's a daily report. They want to know who opened because the boss who ordered it wants to see which coworker is not opening it. So we are going there with a 100% open rate. Of course, it's an in-house thing.
That's interesting use case for using Mautic.
Right, but it's very hard to get through their own spam filter because suddenly we are sending email from their domain. So there was a very long conversation with the IT department to let those email through, especially whitelisted. And then even then didn't work. So what we did okay, you have to fill out the form. That's going to trigger a download for you to get the PDF. That's the only way we could give reliable feedback. So, and this is the greatness of Mautic, that you can always find a solution. There is one company who already laughs about this. They call me, "Hey Joey, can Mautic do this?" And they know my answer. Mautic can do anything.
Yes.
So of course we can do it. The question how and how fast.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I really love the workarounds you can build with Mautic is just mind blowing. If you have a problem. I remember at the very beginning when I started the first YouTube, the Alex Hammerschmidt YouTube, the German one. I was creating I always thought webinars back then. It was 2018 or so a little bit after the super hype of webinars. But anyways, these webinaries and all these platforms were very aggressive with the marketing, and webinars is the best. So I created a webinar system with Mautic, which is actually pretty easy to do. And yeah, you only let in people. You can block everything on Mautic landing pages depending on how active and so on and so forth the contact actually is, which is super nice. So you can really get super creative with dynamic web content and so on. So that's really cool.
Yeah, there's a new plugin we open sourced recently. It's a membership system with Mautic.
Oh, yeah,
And that
nice.
sounds very big. It's actually not that, but if you understand the building blocks, you can build a membership system on it. So what it does is that you can have password protected landing pages if they start with a certain string, like for example, home or admin or member minus, and then the page name.
Yes.
And if you not logged in to a visitor session, it's a new thing like for this plugin. Then you get a login page. And this login is actually 2 custom fields called login and user and password, which you can set for each person. And if you log in, then you can access. If you don't log in, you don't access.
Yes.
And it gives you such a huge opportunity again. There you can do, now I can have a membership system. Why not?
Yes.
And those are expensive if you go to the market. So Mautic, I really love because of the small building blocks opening huge opportunities like tweet templates, for example, unlimited SQL. These plugins can make you do anything you want.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Nice. I mean, we could I think talk forever for what you can do with Mautic. Yeah. It's so interesting. I mean, but that's also some. So before we started the recording, we were talking very briefly about. So we have 2 types of clients, at least in our SaaS. Either somebody who totally falls in love with Mautic and is like, okay, I'm sold. I will stick there forever. If I have a real problem, I will come to you as my marketing agency and you will fix this and the rest is great, it's working. Or I'm totally overwhelmed, I hate this tool, it doesn't do what I want, I'm going. I will find something else what works because Mautic doesn't work. So these types of clients, we identified these types of clients. So either people love it or people are completely overwhelmed. And I think this is because of the endless possibilities on how to solve something, and of course, lack of tutorials or, not even documentation. If people would read the documentation, they would get their head around concepts, but I think reading is a very rare skill. So, yeah, that's like...
I think TikTok took care of that.
Yes, exactly. We need the TikTok documentation. Good one. And I think that's the biggest problem, that it's marketing automation is actually so it can be everything, because it's like you want to automate marketing, which is endless. There is no this is marketing definition or something. You can basically, it's something what you communicate to somebody. So
exactly, it's what you said. I think it's Mautic could be the secret weapon of political parties, if you ask me. Imagine you can actually win elections with Mautic.
Yes.
If those guys would know about it, but luckily it's not a political tool, but delivering messages at the right time to the right people based on the information you know about them. That sounds really awesome if you are trying to change a country or something. Yes. But what you said, like this TikTok generation or in general, who reads documentations? You need a specific type of person. I think people who like to solve puzzles like Mautic. It's not, if you want something pre-chewed for you, it's not going to be the right solution, I believe.
Yes.
And we need to be broader as a Mautic community. it's really hard. Like I learned Mautic with the Mautic minutes. I don't know if you remember those. Those
Yes.
were amazing. 3 minutes, you got a concept. And if you watch them all, then you
understand it.
actually knew, what's going on. So
Yes.
for me, it was also always very big challenge how to write a tutorial, because you need so many concepts. Like just for double opt-in, you
Yes.
need the concept of custom field, contact, segment, form, email, landing page, click, how you test it. You know, it's like so many things at the same time. So
Yes.
it's a huge challenge. And by the way, the Mautic 4 tutorial is free on my website. And I'm working on the 5. Hopefully in May you will see the first part ready. It's really hard because it's really hard to do it in a fun way.
Yes.
And make it useful.
It is.
Like it's a little bit like broccoli, you know, like you need that, but it's so hard to get it in. Like feed the kids with that.
Well,
And,
it's just like always broccoli. Yeah.
and
totally.
I have a video someone wrote to me that, dude, I slept in during this video. It put me to sleep, but it's very useful. Keep doing it. It's how merging works.
Yes.
Yeah, like how you merge contacts. It's very dry. Like what happens if you have multiple keys? What happens if you have one key? What happens if you import? Like really, I went really boring. And I think it has like, I don't know, 400 views, which is
Yes.
nothing. But I really hope that at least 200 of those people are not, going home crying from work because they just merged the database in the wrong way. Like I said, you can scale shit in Mautic. Like with the
Yes.
bad import, you can do very bad things.
Yes.
So we need to make fun videos. We need to make fun content, which is also useful. Lifelike situations. Not share private information. It's really hard, and we do it for free because Mautic is a community
Yes.
where we just share stuff for free.
Yes.
I don't know if you ever talked about this, like about the Mautic setup, like who it belongs to. Have you ever talked about in your podcast?
No, I didn't. But go for it.
So it's unique, yeah. So somebody asked me, a company like, okay, we wanna do Mautic, and who does it belong to? So it belongs to no one and everyone. And the thing is that most companies, like open source projects, like WordPress, or I don't know, let's start with WordPress. It belongs to Automatic. It's a company, one owner, who is kind of moody lately, but one owner, and he offers this service. Like you can go to the WordPress website and he makes money of it.
Yes.
But in Mautic, what happened was that, and this is my personal opinion, not the official in any matter of friendly or whatsoever, but there was a company, Acquia, took care of it. They had their own version, their own fork, and the Mautic community had one. And at one point, we were both building amazing things, and it didn't make sense anymore to do this separately. So they gave it back to the community. So it's a little bit like, I don't know, like communism, honestly. It belongs to everyone. We all take care of it. We all benefit from it. It's ideal version of communism, obviously, not the real one, but belongs to no one and everyone. It's a digital public good declared by Google. So it's an amazing stamp we have.
Yes.
It's for the human mankind there to automate our stuff, to be more free and to have a nice coffee in the afternoon after instead of working hard on Excel sheets and stuff. Mautic does it for us, and anyone can contribute and anyone can use this software license free. So it's really amazing. And all what Mautic is asking is that we contribute back a little bit of money. So we are one of those companies who are supporting financially or individuals, which buys us voting rights. And with those voting rights, we can decide who is managing this whole thing. So it's a really utopistic thing of very fun people, but there is no company behind it. So it's really open source and community funded.
Yes.
So it's really cool. And by the way, you and me, we are competitors, right? In a way.
In
and
business terms, yes.
in business terms, yeah, and others as well. and there's so much work, so many opportunities.
Yes.
We like literally never clash. And when we are merging something like open sourcing, like multi-domain or multi-SMTP or whatever really cool, or this login which I mentioned, key features, we give it to everyone. Like you make something like you did with the builder or other contributions, you pull it back to the common code, and that immediately eradicates your market advantage.
Yes.
And you do this because I also get rid of mine because I can have yours. It's just such a great idea that helps all of us at the same time. So I think Mautic is great, and it's a great concept. I think maybe even one of a kind with this ownerless open source, at least in this scale.
There are very few SaaS. There are very few open source projects which don't have an official SaaS behind it, like the commercial arm. So Mautic is very pure open source, which makes it very difficult to build a community. I mean, I know it from talking to Ruth, how difficult it is to keep up the work and keep up the quality and everything, because I mean, if you don't have a commercial source of money to found the community itself, and you need like these community leaders and everything, the Tiger teams and everything, it's all like self-motivated. So that's something very unique compared to N8N, which have like this gigantic SaaS sitting behind and
investors, venture capital, right.
Yeah, exactly. So of course they can have like 5 people sitting in their forums all day and only answer questions. Of course, that's great support and that's amazing for the project itself, but nobody is allowed to have a SaaS built around N8N, but everybody can build their SaaS around Mautic. Right. You don't even need to name it if you don't want to. So you can do whatever you like. So I think that the project and the product is great. That's one of the reasons why I love it so much. And I would never think about, I mean, since 2018, I never thought about going back to any other tool in terms of email or marketing automation, because it's just like it can do everything. And every time when I hear somebody from clients of mine who go away after 3 months, they're just like, yeah, I just couldn't warm up to it. It's so complicated. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Then maybe you just send to your 200 subscribers from your Gmail. It's totally fine. Because
it's not for everyone.
You're not at a point where you need marketing automation anyways. It's just, yeah, of course. If you don't get warm with the project, I think you're not really in need of a marketing automation tool. So yeah, I mean that's my opinion. It's maybe a little bit like strong, but
I think that we also, like we as Mautic project, we did everything also that first time users hate us. Like we with the installation, the first steps.
Yes.
You know, really you can use this, but I'm not gonna tell you exactly how to install it. And then you send the first email, and then you go there, and then you see that, okay, I turn it on. There's a button says it's active. It's published, and then under it it's written, like you are in the email about to send it out, and under it is written, publish at and publish unpublish at, and you're like, exactly. Okay, so if this is really on, then what are these two? And where is the schedule button anyway? So we did these things but when you think about it, when I tell the customer that, hey, you're not just sending out an email. This is an email which will have a validity window. What you open, anyone joining the segment will get until this time. They say, oh, that makes so much more sense, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's undocumented and really hard to grasp if you're in there.
Yeah, and I think we changed it in the last 3 years. We changed it somewhat 2 times. Like there
Yes.
were different versions. How okay then let's do this now with Mautic 5 is I would say it's already better. Or with the segments also like you can be member of a segment, but if you are taken out by hand, you cannot go
You
back.
cannot join it. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
like what is
The
that? So
dynamic thing is gone then. Yes.
yeah,
But
it's
Mautic is. I heard once Mautic is developer porn.
yeah,
So
that's true.
if you can think like a developer, then you grasp the concept very quickly. It's so easy to understand what it does, how it works. It's pure logic. It's very simple to grasp it. But if you're a regular non-techie developing nerd, then it's just hard. And to be honest, like it makes so much more sense to like in MailChimp, you write your newsletter and say schedule at this date, and that's it. In the background, it does exactly the same thing what Mautic does.
Right.
But you cannot say, okay, I want this email to be open for 1 week, and everybody who's joining my list in this time will get this email. You only have it like until it's sent. Let's say until 12 hours from now, because that's
Right.
how long MailChimp emails actually take to send. It's not only the loading, the loading thing what you see after you click send, and then an ape shows the thumbs up. Mautic is the developer porn thing, which just forces you to learn the underlying process. And the cool thing about doing this, if you are walking through that, the learning curve is super steep. But I think the cool thing about it is you understand the core concept of automation. And this is so much more important if you are planning anything what's automation related. Because it's super complicated as long as you don't know what you actually want to automate. As soon as you understand the steps involved, which you need to take, then it's easy breeze, just walk through. You can, when we build automations, it's so quickly done.
Right.
You can charge like 10 hours for an automation which you click together within 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can charge 10 hours because the client would need 10 hours to wrap their head around the concept of, okay, how is this actually working and blah, blah. And I mean, we basically invested these 10 hours when we learned the skill, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's the great thing about, like, if you put yourself out there and you walk through it and you experience this pain on how complicated automation actually is, once you have it, you have a true skill.
Right.
And you can monetize this. Like, if you're new to marketing automation, if you're looking for like how to make money, it's best to learn Mautic. Then you have the perfect service business. You can just run it because it's so hard for so many people. Everybody wants to buy this. Nobody
Right.
wants to learn this actually. So yeah, I think that Mautic is like this. For me, it opened up this business opportunity, and since 2018, we're basically only doing this.
Yeah.
And since AI stuff came on top, and of course through email, through e-commerce, we build all these headless stores and stuff. But that just is an extension of understanding the core concepts of automation and how stuff is working together. So I think that's if you start working with Mautic, it evolves your thinking in order to create actually functioning processes.
Right. And super easy prototyping. Like you can
Yes.
actually quick, try something today,
Can
doesn't
try.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like the webinars or the subscriptions and stuff. It's super nice. Exactly. I think and testing freebies and everything. I just love how easy it is to actually do that. tell me. What did you want to say?
I wanted to ask you about Mautic 5 and
Yes.
updates in general.
Yes. Very good. That's on my
because
list. Thoughts,
no,
thoughts on Mautic 5?
Updates so because we are both SaaS providers, for us it's more responsibility because we not just technically have to update, but Mautic 5 is a pretty big change, so we also have to do some more hand holding and so how was your experience? How deep are you into the waters with Mautic 5, or how is your progress?
Yes.
And what do you think in general?
All of our clients are running on Mautic 5 already. It was a pain. And the biggest problem was that lots of things just came up after we switched them to Mautic 5.
Exactly.
It was like so many, like, I don't know, people had like old templates in their emails,
Yes.
and suddenly unsubscribe links didn't work anymore.
Yes.
And people, they were unsubscribed, but so technically it worked, but
You got a
unsubscribed
404
didn't
page
render anymore
Yeah.
because of missing, like the template didn't point back to the new templating system. And so it was like, oh my god.
And where do you find this? Actually, it was very difficult because you're actually not looking for the issue in the template itself, but you look issue in the unsubscribe system or the link redirection.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
That was really crazy. I found it like looking at the server logs, and there it was written the template
Missing
blah, blah.
template.
Yeah, exactly. Is pointing to this, and this is not existing. And then it's like, what? And then I looked like, in the in the Twig template, not even in the email template. It was like
base.html, base.php something.
Messages. Yeah, exactly.
Messages something. Yeah.
Messages.html.twig or something, and it was like, oh my god, I would never have taken a look.
Yeah.
But anyways, we found all these thingies, and I guess everybody does, and put them together. And now I must say it's really nice. I love Mautic 5. I mean, I hope Mautic 6 doesn't bring so many breaking changes, but no, I don't think. I mean, it's like only. I think it's basically Mautic 5, but just the next version.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy with it. And I think the marketing team did a great job. The design team did a great job.
That's amazing.
I like how it looks. People in general, our clients like it more, even though they are confused at the beginning. So when they open it the first time, it's like, what did you do? You changed so many things.
Where is my stuff? Yeah.
Yes. But it's a very quick learning curve, and it's very flat. So it's fine for them. At least that's my experience. So nobody really complained about anything. I think the wording got better, especially like with the scheduling a newsletter.
It's faster.
And yeah, it's way faster. Yes, it's so much more lightweight, which is great. So not so much code to look through if you have problems or if you want to integrate something. Yeah, the only thing is API-wise. No, I mean the REST API still works. I think I can't remember if I found an endpoint which doesn't work anymore because we do so much API. I think the whole REST API from Mautic 4 still works.
There are a couple of places where the values are differently normalized. You have, instead of true, you have a 1. These kind of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Minimal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Minor stuff.
Minor things. Mm-hmm.
And so that's this thing. But what I'm really much looking forward to, which is not yet fully implemented, is that
I know what you're gonna say.
That email
Campaign.
HTML.
No.
That email HTML starts to be email MJML instead, in order to push emails directly into Mautic.
MJML emails.
Yes, you can push them via API, and you can, let's say, you leave the HTML field empty, then the email gets created, but then you need to open it in Mautic
Right.
in order to create the HTML, in order to render the MJML file
Right.
once. So I think I have a YouTube video about how to do this with N8N. So you can then call the MJML API before you push it to Mautic and render it from the MJML API. You render it to HTML, and then you push both fields. So you have the HTML and the MJML content inside your Mautic email, and then you can open it in Mautic if you want to change something, because if you don't, you can't change it in MJML because it's only HTML anymore. And so there are these little things, but it gets better and better and better. And I'm very much looking forward to get completely rid of the old builder. And
we found one issue with the MJML builder is the direct email. I don't know if any of your customers use it.
Yes.
So with the direct email, the issue was that the CK editor breaks. It's due to settings that it tries to create an email, like it pulls the HTML and then creates a HTML5 email.
Yes.
And it just doesn't work. So we actually have a fix for that and it's not official fix yet, but we introduce a tiny mice editor, which is a third editor. It's a very bad solution, but we needed it immediately.
Yes.
Because it happened with us that the two first clients who we upgraded happened to use this feature, both of them.
I think most of our listeners don't even know that you can send, like, in advanced email settings, you have this possibility to have like a blank email, a true blank email, which you can leverage, right?
Does it work in Mautic 5?
No.
The true blank?
It doesn't. It sends the underlying template, and if it's the blank template, you would just send the blank template without any content. It's really crazy.
Right. So there are things which we just have to do differently in Mautic 5, unfortunately. Yes. But I think it's good. Mautic 6 will be like a bridge release. Only I think there is not even features coming out for it anymore. Yeah. And Mautic 7 will be, so we almost catch up with the Symfony underlying system, Symfony versions. And it's very exciting, and no brutal changes, because Mautic 5 was really like a rebirth, honestly. Like the whole templating system, everything what you see on the screen is new. Half of the stuff which is rendering in the background is new, and the whole email system is new.
Yes.
So it's a little bit too much shock. It's a shock therapy for marketers or hostess. And you had to like fix everything at the same time, but we are on a very good way. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think so too. I think the shock was large, but the cool thing was you could tell I would tell every client, yes, but look how fast your emails get sent out.
Yeah.
Because of the daemons and everything. That's really nice. So it's really cool. And you can, like sending speed is amazing. You can overwhelm every API and your own server really quickly if you don't know what you're doing. That's another thing. So it's going to be a challenge for the community in order to get people to learn about the principle of how emails get sent from a server, which is like, oh yeah, actually I only wanted to send a newsletter and now I need to learn all this. So if you go self-hosted and if you really want to do this, learn it. But yes, I think that's amazing. Just for our listeners who doesn't know, Mautic 6 is a bridge release, means that the whole underlying stack, which means PHP, Symfony, blah blah, all this stuff needs to be prepared and in part refactored only in order to update it afterwards to the next version, so that we stay modern and safe. So, but that's something the community is doing, right? Or in a very large part, the community is contributing to it, and I think that's something to keep in mind when people complain about Mautic and the community and blah blah. So hey, you have you actually have a tool which is an a real competitor to the most expensive marketing automation systems. And I'm not talking ActiveCampaign or MailChimp. I'm talking HubSpot and Salesforce and SAP. For people who know what that is, you actually have a competitor to these tools. And if you want to have more than 1,000 contacts in HubSpot, you are at €1,000 a month for these set of tools. Because if you take the cheapest HubSpot plan, you can send a newsletter and that's it.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I think it's very underappreciated actually what the tool is and yeah.
It's also, maybe we should mention one more thing regarding free, that the tool itself is being developed and tested by volunteers. That means that any testing is welcome. And we are planning to do Fridays, like either live streams or just Zoom calls where we test together with other Mauticians. So if you're using Mautic for yourself and you want to know how to test, and this is actually not work, because it's similar to this one, we hang out in this Zoom call, we discuss problems, and in the meanwhile, in the background, we test things. Maybe I share my screen or someone else. So if you want to participate, then check the Mautic forums. There will be posts coming up. I will do this too, and others will do it as well. And we can maybe manage to get more features into Mautic, because every single feature which gets into Mautic has to be looked at 3 times, 2 times testing, 1 code tester. This might change in the future because we have very good code coverage by now. But there are right now 219 outstanding modifications which would make our life so much more better. And the way it works is that you go in GitHub, there's a button called Git pod.
Yes.
You install a free extension in your Chrome. You push this button and a Mautic will be appearing for you in 5 minutes approximately. And then in this GitHub page, there's a description that, okay, please test if the, colors are changing for tags, for example. Then you look at it, make a screenshot, write in the comments, yes, it's changing. And that's all you need to do. Like, we need these kind of tests a lot. So features are getting in the system. And if you're a Mautic user, you can contribute with money, you can contribute with creating tutorials or helping out in the forums, writing code, but you can do this as well. And this is just as important as paying, $100 a month, because you pay with your time. And the amazing thing is, like, there's side effects to this, positive ones. Number one, you know more people. Like, you are, like, for example, we had a huge problem with email sending with one of the plugins. Suddenly it was mixing up the content, like the links would be mixing up so we knew each other. We made a Slack group, discussed it, and got to a solution really fast, because we could share, like, hey, this is the problem here. For me, I see this. So one of the most important things what you can get out from these testing events, or in general just testing in GitHub, is the network. And don't underestimate that, because you have direct line to people who can solve your problem right away. That's one thing. The other thing is you learn the product. You learn what's coming up, so you can be prepared. You learn things what you didn't know before, so it's a free education as well. You can only benefit from this. It's very rewarding as well. So I just ask you, if you're a Mautic user, come to the GitHub, check out the PRs, or come to the forums, write to me, and I will even schedule a call with you and teach you how to test if you haven't done it before.
Amazing. Yeah, totally. I think that's there are so many really great things happened with, like, Gitpod and DDEV and everything. It's very easy to test and contribute to the system. So yeah, if you don't want to send money, which is always welcome, get your hands dirty and start doing this. And you will learn so much about Mautic and so much about future possibilities as well. I mean, it just gets you creative.
Right.
And also, if you're interested in these types of things, it's very good to learn Git. and learn how to create a pull request and what that actually is, and learn how to make tests and contribute to anything open source or closed source, whatever. It's a really good path. Especially for the modern web. I think it's really good to understand Git and to get into projects like this, which will help you learn this.
And it doesn't really matter where you work. I mean, if you're a marketer and you know Git, it's not like people will not hire you because you know Git.
Yes, absolutely.
Or if you have like on GitHub, just my son is in an age now that he's looking for a training place for his studies, for university, and he's learning digital marketing. And they were told, dude, make your GitHub page, do contributions, shine there as well, that you contribute. That's one of the arguments. So if you are in that age, or any age actually, but you think that you might want to put your GitHub link onto your resume, then build it. Because companies, for example, like ours, and I think Alex can agree that we look at the Git account. Yeah, what did you do?
Yeah.
What kind of person you are? That's gonna tell you. And
GitHub is not lying, so you
and
can
it's not
see
lying,
what people are actually doing in there,
Yeah,
if they are actually active or not.
yeah.
It's
So
not like
now we're really threatening people here, but yeah.
it's a really good source of truth, right? And I think it's amazing to use it. I would like to know what you think of like the AI boom and how it makes marketing different than without AI before. What you see with your clients, what you see in the Mautic overall like community or Mautic realm or marketing automation realm, if it is raising challenges, or what do you think of it?
So we see this, it comes up like, what AI stuff can your tool do when we have a demo, of course. And of course you can make emails with AI. I'm wondering if, does it make sense to build it inside Mautic or just ask an AI to build an email outside and then just copy paste? I'm not sure yet if we want to build in everything. I think that outside extensions and communicating with outside AIs outside of Mautic is the way now. I know that in Mautic there is a project where certain things could be done via AI to automate the automation even better and scale it. There is a campaign library project coming up, for example, so you could actually say, pull this campaign template and execute it for this segment, like these kind of things. Mm-hmm. Automation can be scary because you can scale up things and be very efficient. Now you put AI on it, how scary that will be. I'm not convinced yet that I've seen a working implementation.
Yes.
So actually, if you can share something, I would be happy. So we are now on the surface level touching the AI things, really just content creation and customization, like personalization with AI. When it is possible now that the message, what you send out, is really personal, and what a message Mautic is fetching and understanding, and AI can decide, is this a positive attitude or a negative one, what to do with it, tag it, not tag it, like points and so on, these kind of things, but not like a global approach at this point.
Yes. Yeah. I totally agree with the thought on, like, shall we put it into the project or not? I think AI should live outside, because then you can leverage so many other things. So I think the future, so how we are using it, we have almost with every client, we force them to install N8N on their own server. Or we install it for them, because that's what you are allowed to do.
Right.
So we install it for them. We host their Mautic, or we have one client who has their own Mautic because they, I don't know, want to pay their own servers. But anyways, we have them to use Mautic plus n8n. And n8n is the middleware, which is the interconnector between, like, we don't build plugins anymore. Before n8n, we needed to build a plugin, or we needed to use plugins which were available for connecting online stores with Mautic, or any platform with Mautic, CRMs, ERPs, where it was necessary. And now we use n8n as the middle layer. And now with AI, we use n8n as the agent middle layer, which does all the AI stuff, like fetching content from your blog, from the last 52 emails on that topic, for example, how the open rates were, how the click rates were, and building new emails out of this stuff from your blog, from your YouTube, from the last emails, what worked, what didn't, build a new email, and then push it into Mautic and send it out. So this is what we are doing right now. And I think this type of using a middle layer like n8n, or like an interconnecting tool, you could even use Zapier if you can afford it.
Right.
And like have 100,000 calls a day and be millionaire, or then you were a millionaire and now Zapier is having your money. But like use a middle layer for this. I think that's the way to go, because it's easier maintainable. If every tool starts to build all the AI stuff into the tool itself, everybody is reinventing the wheel all the time, like 5 million times. I heard a very interesting interview about how future operations are going. Everything is going to be CRUD. So like you send something to the database, or you ask something from the database, like what is this person interested in lately on our website, and then it fetches the history from the database, creates an email based on that, sends the email to this only person, and destroys itself again. So that's everything is gonna be has a very short time frame, and it's only because you don't need to create a template or anything for this. You can just work with the data you have, fetch it, work with it, and let go. Maybe log it somewhere. And I think that's the future. Even for reporting, the future is having a middle layer which is able to fetch the database or the relevant data from your database, give you the number you want to know, and that's it. Because if you want to know how the last week was, you only need the number. You don't need the nice-looking PDF, which you can print out and create waste. You only need the number in order to discuss it with your peers, and that's it. And you don't need anything more. And the rest lives in the database anyway. And I think so for me, that's the way to go, like architecture-wise. Because I think it just makes, I think Mautic would just be heavier if we were forced to create an AI extension where you can have all the proprietary and plus open source AIs connected to, and blah, 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 blah. It would open up so many other things, which is actually not necessary anymore. I think in general, that's the way to go, in having like a few very specialized tools and one middle layer tool which interconnects everything. And that's it. I think that's the most lightweight stack.
How long do you think, like we're talking about the future AI, right? Let's talk about the past just for one moment. What do you think, how long will email be the means of communication?
Very good question. I always think about this myself, like how long will people actually open emails? I mean, I guess a very good measuring stick is Gmail still a thing? Is Gmail still operating? If yes, we can still send emails. If no, it's probably show that nobody needs email anymore. But I think email is still under-leveraged and undervalued, and I think it's the most valuable thing you can have still. Because it's so, I don't know, people have a very different relationship to email compared to WhatsApp or to messengers in general, but compared to WhatsApp or compared to SMS. I mean, in the German-speaking market, if you send SMS, you're basically penetrating somebody. Like you're basically in bed with somebody.
Right,
then you're allowed to send SMS. WhatsApp is like, the spammer sent WhatsApp already, but and SMS, of course, like crazy spammers. But if you try to send a legitimate SMS, no. So in the German-speaking market, I found that this is too private, and people don't really like it. But email, it's just a great. So for me, it's just I love email. I love it so much. It's the only communication tool I actually use. So if anybody wants to have something from me, you need to write an email. If you send me a comment on YouTube, I most probably will read and respond, but it will take some days. If you send me something on WhatsApp, if you're a friend, I will send you a reply. But if you're not, I will just delete it and block you. And if you send me something on Messenger or whatever, I don't even care. I LinkedIn, I don't care. I just don't read the stuff. I'm not on social media. Everything you see from me on social media is fully automated. I don't take a look at it. I only do it because it's necessary to build the brand and to grow YouTube. So I think email is a tool of where you can reach people who actually value their own time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to connect, so in B2B, email is the thing. In B2C, it gets lower, even though B2C is, we have this. So if you're in e-commerce, if you have e-commerce clients, and maybe in B2B it's the same thing, but in e-commerce it's like this ECG from a heart rate. You send an email, you have a spike. Every time you send an email, you have this spike.
Immediately,
People come to your website and buy stuff. That's just what happens with email. It's so predictable. It's really, once you figured it out a little bit, it's predictable that you will sell at this day. I think email is gonna be with us for a long time. Still.
Yeah. I'm also hoping for it. What I see is with email, like with other channels, my son, who is, I mentioned, 21, he doesn't read his emails at all.
My daughter is 16 and she doesn't as well.
No, it's a boomer thing. But
yes.
And only NPCs apparently reading these. Yeah. So, but on the other hand, the school is forcing them to do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once they enter the job market, hopefully they will apply reading emails. Like they will force them so they become normal people.
Yes.
Who are reading emails. But
you need to send a video.
Yeah.
Via email.
Exactly. So I think that our system is supporting email, which is a good thing because it's an open standard.
Yes.
Maybe somewhere in an alternative universe, you pay per email. I don't know. I'm sure there is less spam there.
Yes.
But we are very lucky that emails are open and it's free.
Yes, absolutely. And I think at a certain step in life, you're just forced to have email, right?
Right.
It's like, I mean, it's here in Cyprus, you get all your utility bills, blah, blah, all this stuff. It comes via email. If you don't check your email, you will not have energy supply in the next month.
Right.
Because they just turn it off. And then you look at your WhatsApp.
Yeah, right.
And question yourself, why didn't they send me? Or they never said something on TikTok. I don't know why.
Right.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
email. Yeah, totally. Yeah, nice. Very quick quickfire round
Okay.
for wrapping this up.
Okay.
What is your favorite tool you discovered recently?
It's Outline.
What's
It's a self-hosted Notion. So
Oh,
we
yes.
use Notion at the company, but I like open source. So I installed Outline and I'm moving there. Directly before I used Bookstack a lot. I really love it. It's another amazing open source tool. So yeah, it would be Outline.
Nice,
It's the one. Yeah.
nice. Need to
Still
look into
discovering,
this.
falling in love slowly.
Nice, amazing. Self-hosted or SaaS?
Always self-hosted.
Very good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, people who live on the same things like me, but yeah.
Yes, totally. I totally agree. One automation you're proud of?
I can't speak about it. In 1 year, I can speak about it.
Very good.
We have a huge project coming up. Maybe there is one thing what we did recently, and I had a presentation in the last Mauticon. We did a event management system for a large pharmaceutical company where every contact is a event, and it works really well. And we built just now an ordering system for them, so it's a very interesting relationship. We built a shopping cart inside of Mautic, basically, because why not?
Yes, totally.
And yeah, I'm very proud of that. If you're interested, it's in the Global 2024 online Mauticon. I'm presenting it there, yeah.
Yes, I will link it.
Thank you.
Nice, amazing. Mautic in one word.
I can't do it in one word. I can say it's what our clients say and people who learn Mautic. It's the best kept secret of the marketing world.
Yes. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's nice. Most annoying client request.
Hope that client won't see it. So I had to build it wasn't Zoom webinars, but I had to build like webinar automation on an absolutely incapable, crappy platform. And I looked at it first when he showed it to me and I said, sure, no problem. And I think I almost I cried at the end. Yeah. Number 2 is multi language forms.
Yes. Oh my
Done
God.
by JavaScript. That was also a big mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can be hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, cool. Where can people find you on in the world?
So get in touch with me on LinkedIn. I don't really use Twitter, but you can find my website joeykeller.com. I just rebuilt it. It has a Mautic engine, so it's not WordPress. I left WordPress for Mautic, so it's Mautic generated pages. Really cool system I created, just contact us. I have a special captcha builder for people who like geek movies, and you can get in touch with me there.
Nice. Very good. I will link everything, so just look it up and get in touch with Joey. Any offers or things you're launching? I mean, you said the Mautic 5 tutorial is coming up.
So as personally, if you're interested in Friendly, want to host Switzerland, go friendly.ch. If you are a Mautic user, come to my page. I'm just rebuilding it, like relaunching it. There will be 3-tier membership system. Anything you can read for free. No registration needed. Some stuff you get free registration, but you don't have to pay. And there is very super premium stuff, like for example, how to scale up 1.5 million contacts, how to have fast Mautic, what actually you get like MySQL settings, like these kind very geeky stuff I'm doing, what you're normally a programmer would do. But if you wanna like learn or something, then you can pay for it. And some tutorials will be also premium. So these are the basically offers. Just look at it. Yeah, I think, and come to the Mautic Fridays, like come to Mautic forums and participate, basically.
Yes.
No offers. And thank you for doing this, Alex, by the way. I think this is very valuable for the community, for the users, that we talk about these kind of things. And yeah, I hope that you will also come to my channel. And
Yes, I will.
let's link that as well, like where you can find Mautic tutorials. But let's show something cool there, like hands-on demonstration.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to know more about Mautic, how to use it, and so on, you'll find some very ancient videos on my channel, but it's ancient.
There are some very good tricks, like for example, how to, like with one line of code, how to update PHP config files and these kind of things. So there's always something you can learn. I highly recommend it, by the way. Don't undersell yourself.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Yeah, but yes, if you want to have like the current Mautic stuff, go to look up Joey's channel. It's really cool. And yeah, nice. It's Joey. I'm so happy that we finally found the time to do this. Maybe we should do this more often, like on a more regular basis. I really liked it, and yeah, amazing to see you, man. It was really.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really love the format. I don't know how long this video will be at the end. We were sitting here for 7.5 hours just for
exactly. I got gray hair. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thank you so much, and see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.